I want you to remember that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I want you to remember, Sid Vicious, dreams do come true, my friend.
The dream is on the line Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum as Brian Christopher will again be going against Sid Vicious. Let's go to the ring and Kory.
Okie dokie, we're ready to go here. Handicap match here on USWA Championship Wrestling. First introducing at a combined weight of 411 pounds from Nashville, Tennessee, Kory Williams. And his partner from Cordova, Tennessee, Tony Williams. 6'7", 295 pounds, the unified world heavyweight champion. Here is Sid Vicious. Kevin Christian, your referee. We're ready, Lance and Dave.
Okay, handicap match, Big Sid. What a day, Dave. We've had a change in the USWA title. We've had brawls, and we're getting ready for some more of it right now as the big unified champion starts out with Kory Williams and just hammers him back into the corner.
And not only that, this isn't our final match of the day. We've still got Lawler and Dundee, the legendary tag team, back together again right here today on TV coming up later on. But meanwhile, Kory Williams, who's in there now, and his partner Tony Williams have a tough day's work cut out for him here.
Kory Williams swinging with everything he had. Oh, boy. He went back, got that slingshot effect off of the ropes, and came out hard at Sid. Gonna nail him, and Sid just took that long leg and big foot, met him head on. Is it the power bomb? Vicious has him up in the air, starts him with a little airplane spin, and dumps him off in the corner. Wow, nice. He threw him halfway at least across that ring. Tony Williams coming in after him. Underneath the arm, right in the mouth. This guy is so powerful. Just have no idea till you stand up beside Vicious how big he is and how powerful he is. Tony Williams being picked up. Kory is still down on the mat. And I'm afraid Tony's going to be following the same path, Dave.
Tony, a very agile wrestler. He had to really go high for a drop kick. Got a pretty good one on Sid, but could not knock him down. And then Sid hammered him with a powerful clothesline. It's been all Sid Vicious since. Look out, up in the air.
Power bombed him down. Vicious with that choke slam, and down goes Kory. And Big Sid is going to pin them both. Same time, 1, 2, 3. He's got them. Kory and Tony Williams in the handicap match, just not in the same league with the massive Sid Vicious.
He is awesome. There's no doubt about it. Sid Vicious with a victory in the handicap match.
I don't need spellbinder! I don't need these men! I don't know what day, brother! And you're looking at it! A machine that's coming head on for you!
Sid Vicious will take time out. Be back. Remember, Lawler and Dundee in a moment.
Watson's is having a half off after Christmas.
Woo! What a day, huh? I mean to tell you, this has been a dandy and a half, and it's not over with yet. We still have Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, and they'll be out here teaming together as they did so many successful times. It has been a day in which the new USWA title holder has been crowned. Standing right here with us now, the Spellbinder, a man who's been a subject of a lot of conversation out here today, talking about he was going to keep Jerry Lawler from being there for the unified title. Brian Christopher said Jerry Lawler had promised he won't be around. And you're not looking as good as you have sometimes. Evidently, you ran into a little heat somewhere.
Jerry Lawler, King, you not burned me once, but twice. Shut up! And I'm here to say that Monday night, I'm going to fight fire with fire. So you get ready.
Well, I tell you, you're messing with a pro of all pros when you start talking like that about Jerry Lawler, spellbinder, and a little dazzling fire out as he is messing with a guy that's had more experience at it than he can even think of, Dave.
That's true. Spellbinder with the illusions. We've seen him with fire before, but not against the King. That could be very interesting. Let's talk about the card coming up. 7:30 Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Big one. Big New Year's spectacular with 7 matches. Doug Gilbert goes against Tony Williams in the opener. USWA tag titles on the line as the champions, PG-13. Put him on the line against Reggie B. Fine and Don Bass.
And in addition to that, we have a special challenge handicap match with Bill Superstar Dundee going against Scott Bowden and a mystery partner. That'll be interesting.
And then King Cobra will be going against Tommy Rich. As you see, it had been scheduled as a USWA title match, but right here today, Tommy Rich was defeated. He's no longer the champion, so it cannot be a title match. It's King Cobra against Tommy Rich.
And a back alley grudge street fight. Anything goes. Losing team splits up. Big important stipulation there. Losing team splits up the Moondogs and Beauty and the Beast.
And then Spellbinder says he's going to fight fire with fire. Well, he better have a bunch of it because you're going to have the King, Jerry Lawler, there. He's already shown Spellbinder that he knows how to use it. The loser of this match has to leave the building before the World Unified title match. So whoever wins it can stay. Now, of course, Lawler is wanting to win it so that Brian Christopher, his tag team partner from time to time, can have a 1-against-1 with Sid Vicious without having Spellbinder jumping in. And speaking of that match,
that's the final event. It's Sid Vicious and Brian Christopher will be going at it. Sid will be putting the Unified World Championship on the line against the challenger, Brian Christopher.
And we have information from promoter Eddie Marlin that PG-13, especially Wolfie D, but both of them have asked for a grudge match, and he's going to add it. It's going to be PG-13 against Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich, added grudge match down there at the Coliseum Monday night.
That's going to be down there Monday night
yes,
also.
Sir. So that's going to give us 8 matches in all.
Whoa.
Big night.
7:30 the time. Tickets on sale starting 12 noon on Monday. Hey,
speaking of fire,
look at this.
Whoa.
Come on around here. If somebody could come around. Hang on just a second. Let me put all of this down. You know, I think for the past week or so, everybody's seen me flying around Memphis on the big Fireworks City rocket there. Because you see, if there's anybody that knows about fireworks, I'm the man that knows about fireworks. I deliver fireworks. You see, I got fireworks right here. I'm going to deliver some fireworks right there. There's some fireworks for somebody right there. There's some fireworks for you guys right there. And I'm going to tell you what else. I want you to take a look at this nice little assortment. Woo! You see all of these fireworks right here? These are from our friends at Fireworks City. This is what's going to be given away down at the Coliseum Monday night. So some lucky fan are going to receive all of these fireworks courtesy of Fireworks City. But there's going to be some more fireworks given away Monday night. And I'm going to do the giving. And Spellbinder, you are going to get some fireworks, not courtesy of Fireworks City. You're going to get some fireworks courtesy of the King. I'm going to give them to you special delivery. We're going to start your new year off with a bang, brother. Because you see, the stipulation of that match is whoever loses gets escorted. As soon as the match is over, the security guards are going to be right there at ringside. And whether it's me or whether it's Spellbinder, those big security guards, you know what they're going to do? They're going to clamp some handcuffs on the loser, and they're going to escort him right out of the Mid-South Coliseum, and they're going to take him out to the back gate, and they're not just going to leave him there. They're going to chain whoever loses with those handcuffs to the back gate of the Mid-South Coliseum out in the parking lot, so there'll be no way for that person to interfere. So Spellbinder, get ready for a nice little celebration inside the Coliseum, and then you're going to have a kind of lonely celebration outside the Coliseum because you're going to be all by yourself, and everybody inside are going to get to sit there and watch Brian Christopher beat Sid Vicious Texas and win the Unified Heavyweight Championship Monday night to start 1995 off with a bang. I promise you that.
All right, King. Well, I found out, by the way, that the ice is not going to be on the Coliseum floor Monday night, and it's a good thing with all that fire. It might melt anyway. It's a big night coming up Monday. We're going to be back. Don't forget our main event, Lawler and Dundee, coming up. Stay with us.
Large-size tag match coming on here, PG-13. During the break, if you were with us earlier, you saw what Wolfie had to endure with that crazy Tommy Rich beating him with a belt. They went, look at those welts on there. And they went to promoter Eddie Marlin and said they wanted a match with Gilbert and Rich. And Gilbert and Rich have got a match coming with these guys. Eddie Marlin said, you bet.
That's right, Lance. Sometimes you come out here, and the object in wrestling, you want to put on an arm bar, you want to put on a headlock or a hammerlock. But sometimes, it's times like this, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, it's times like this that I don't care about these anymore. I don't care about the rules anymore. And if you people are coming to see a wrestling match, don't come, because you're going to see a fight. PG-13 knows how to get down. We know how to get dirty. And anybody that does this to me is in for serious trouble. I promise.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You guys have had your share of fighting. You're not backing up from them.
Doug Gilbert, Tommy Rich, take a look at it, boy. The last time anybody took a belt to J.C. Ice, I was 16 years old. I was still a boy, and it happened right here in this building on this television show, and it happened by my dad, Bill Dundee. But you see, Tommy Rich, you ain't my dad. Doug Gilbert, you ain't man enough to be my dad, and I will have you know that no one upon no one will ever take a belt to J.C. Ice and treat me like a boy, because this is all man standing here, and I'll show you this week, boy.
I believe that maybe Rich and Gilbert have bitten off a little more than they can chew. We'll find it out as they will be tangling with them. Let's go to Kory now. We're ready for that big main event, Kory.
All right, Lance, I'm ready for it. Television main event today on USWA Wrestling. First introducing, come on, weight of 549 pounds from Greasy Corner, Arkansas, Outlaw Don Bass and his partner from every woman's dream, along with sweet Georgia Brown, Reggie B. Fine.
Hey, look what I got. Miss Texas, eat so hard out there. This is the finest woman in professional wrestling right here, Dave. I just brought y'all got y'all pacemakers on, because I don't want y'all to have no heart attack looking at her. It's all look too
Man, I tell you. Well, I started to say any friend of Reggie's is, and I better stop right there.
Their opponents today, though, combined weight 441 pounds. Making their way to the ring area now, from Australia, the superstar Bill Dundee, and from Memphis, Tennessee, the King, Jerry Lawler. Kevin Christian, your referee. This one, till the expiration of our time, television main event will be a good one and a half.
I don't think Reggie knew that he had Lawler and Dundee today, Dave.
He came out here with all kind of celebration, and then he looked at the opponents and wait a minute.
Well, he's got a partner up there that can hold up his end of it. We're talking about the outlaw Don Bass. As Bass came in with his big cigar, and he's ready for it.
Hey, I just beat Jerry Lawler last week, man. I don't know why you want no more of me.
Gee, my memory's getting foggy or something. I don't remember that.
I don't remember last week, last month, or last year, Reggie beating Jerry Lawler. We're ready for the match, the final bout here today. Starting out will be, well, I'm not really sure. I know Don Bass is, because Reggie's staying away from the ring.
Reggie's down there insulting a teddy bear, it looks like.
That's something for Reggie
yeah.
to pick on.
Yeah, one of the fans has a stuffed animal here of some sort, and then Reggie down here, you better pay attention to what's going on. He's just wanting to, he's in denial, I think. He doesn't want to admit that he's going to have to face Lawler and Dundee. And legendary tag team, man, these guys have battled against each other, but you put them together as a tag team, and they have been in some of the most exciting, toughest matches in the history of wrestling. And we got him here today, maybe against Reggie. Reggie finally climbs in the ring. And Outlaw Don Bass.
The King starting out against Reggie. Well, the King has started. Oh, now Sweet Georgia Brown, you see her telling Reggie, get out there.
Come on,
and
Reggie.
beat him up.
Yeah, you can beat him up, Reggie. Nothing to it.
I love it. Yeah, Reggie, get out there and beat him up.
Don Bass saying, it's all you. You got it. Go ahead. Go on out there. Cowboy Don Bass out of Greasy Corner, Arkansas.
I'll tell you, I guess we could spend all of next week's show talking about Lawler and Dundee and the victories that they have taken. Absolutely, I think, one of the finest tag teams we have ever seen. What is this? She's been around here 60 seconds. He's already reaching up there, grabbing the tights of Jerry Lawler from the outside while Reggie was in front of him.
You know, Reggie is a master at delaying the start of a match, and I was just thinking if we had a clock, then he wouldn't. He would certainly try to stretch it until the time expired. And then I realized we could very easily be in that situation here because we do have a clock. This is an expiration of time match, and time is winding down.
Tangling it up, and once again, Sweet Georgia Brown, look at her, grabbing the tights, grabbing the foot. Here comes Dundee. Bill Dundee coming around the corner. He's going to get her out of there in a hurry. Lawler getting hot about this stuff. He kind of swatted it away, shooed it away like a fly the first time she did it. He's getting a little upset. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he didn't want to take it out on Reggie.
Absolutely. And Reggie complaining about something to the referee.
Reggie is the one that's doing the firing as he popped that right hand in on Lawler, now making a choke, and Dundee comes down the line to help the referee break it up. Now the King getting upset.
We got us a real time problem coming up here as action continues all over the place. Oh, King chasing Sweet Georgia Brown all over the ring, or all over the area around the ring.
He's got her. He's close. Whoa!
Dundee got the 3 count. He got the 3 count. The match is over. Bill Dundee and Lawler have won it. Oh, my goodness, action everywhere. Yep, a victory in the first fall here for Dundee and Lawler. Wow.
I mean, Outlaw Don Bass never did even get in the ring.
No,
as far as I could see, I was too busy ducking Sweet Georgia Brown swinging that leather jacket. We got to take time out. We'll be back in a moment.
Your win is here.
Well, Dave, I just want to say this to Memphis. I hope you all have a nice new year in '95, and Scott Bowden, you is going to start off bad, brother, because I don't know if you got King Kong, and I really don't care. You just show up Monday night at the Coliseum, because Bill Superstar Dundee's going to be on the other side of the ring. Bring your mother, bring your father, or bring that uncle you say you got that's a coach somewhere in Florida. I think he's bogus, you're bogus, and I'm going to punch your lights out Monday night. Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you, Bill. Scott Bowden, look out. Bill Dundee is looking for you. That's not the only match either. Remember, we got that special added match as PG-13 will be going against Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. Looking forward to that one, and that's not all by a long shot.
Oh, we got Sid Vicious defending against Brian Christopher. We've got Jerry Lawler and the Spellbinder with someone to lose and be escorted out of the building. And that's about all the time. We do want to remind everybody that next week we'll be on a half hour earlier.
Right.
Monday night, looking forward to seeing you down there, as we are hoping maybe that you'll be able to make it out and join us for the new year. For Kory Macklin, Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.
They're clapping to keep warm, I think. Hello again, everybody. For Kory Macklin, Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying hi. Ready to go with another big day, and I like the looks of it, my friend.
Oh, my goodness, we got a championship match coming up,
Yes,
but
we
we've
do.
got Don Bass, Reggie B. Fine together again today, and they will be right here. Also, Sweet Georgia Brown will be on the program today. Miss Texas will be here, too. Brian Christopher will be going against Doug Gilbert, and the USWA heavyweight title is at stake right here today. It's championship wrestling, no doubt about it. That's not all. Superstar Bill Dundee will be along, as will PG-13.
And we've got some more conversation as the show goes along about the challenge from Brian Christopher to Sid Vicious's unified title. What a scrap those two guys have had.
Also, the Rock and Roll Express. I think most wrestling fans in this area know. They're not going to be here today, but they are coming back to the USWA, and we've got a special look at them.
You know, Dave, it really warmed the cockles of the old heart when I remembered back, and you remembered as well as I do, better probably, the very first match that Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson ever had right here in the middle of it with the USWA ring and son of a gun. You talking about one of the great tag teams. Here is one that has stood the test of time, the Rock and Roll Express.
She was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. And that time over at Johnny's place, well, this chick got up and she slapped Johnny's face. Man, we just fell about the place. If that chick don't want to know, forget her. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
And Robert Gilbert back together, and that's why you know why they've been one of the great tag teams and still are. When they come around your way, you get out there and greet them and say hi to the Rock and Roll Express, David.
They're terrific. Also coming up today, something terrific, a USWA heavyweight title match. Brian Christopher will be going against Doug Gilbert just a few minutes from right now.
Small package, dynamite gal, talking about Miss Texas. Here's a look you maybe haven't seen of her.
Special look at Miss. Tell you what, somebody that's got a match scheduled with Miss Texas coming up in just a few days.
Where y'all get that ugly, disgusting video? I can't believe y'all would show some crap, some disgusting, insane junk like that. I thought that I ran that either out of Memphis a long time ago. I hate trash, and I'm going to get rid of it the best way I know how, and that's stacking it up. Miss Texas, nobody wants you. No man wants you. You don't even have a boyfriend. You know what you need? You need to be delivered to Texas or somewhere other than Memphis. Now, you have no home here. You need to get out of Memphis. And what I'm going to do is give you a piece of what you deserve, and that's heaven on earth. And I tell you what, you people that's supporting her over here, Miss Texas is nothing. She's garbage.
Not happy at all over the video that we're showing here. They've got to face each other in a match coming up here later on this week. Sweet Georgia Brown, wherever it might be, she's looking for Miss Texas. I guarantee you what, Miss Texas be looking for her. Let's go to the ring for this match. Here's Kory.
Okay, Davey, we're ready to go with it. This is just the opening bout of a star of a big day of USWA wrestling action. One fall, 10-minute time limit. First introducing a combined weight, 409 pounds, from Memphis, Tennessee, Ken Riper, and his partner from Cordova, Tennessee, Tony Williams. Their opponents at a combined weight of 547 pounds. First introducing from Greasy Corner, Arkansas, Outlaw Don Bass. And his partner says he's from every woman's dream, along with Sweet Georgia Brown, Reggie B. Fine. Kevin Christian is your referee. Back to Lance Russell, Dave Brown.
Okay, Kevin Christian is the referee, and he may have some refereeing to do with Reggie B. and the Outlaw Don Bass. Man, you had a wildcat in that Sweet Georgia Brown.
I tell you what, she didn't want to talk about anything too much except how angry she was that Miss Texas was still around the USWA. Said she had her match with her in Memphis, and she thought you ran her out of Memphis. Well, I don't think she did, and she didn't run her out of Louisville, Nashville, Evansville, a lot of other cities I could name.
Well, she may not have run that, but she sure ran that mouth. Boy, she was giving you a fit. Whoa.
He was not happy.
Reggie taking a hard right from Ken Raper. Yeah, he did. Popped him. No question about it. Tony Williams, Ken Raper, Reggie B. and Don Bass tied up, collar and elbow, center of the ring. And reversal on the scoop slam by Raper.
Great move by Raper. He blocked Reggie and reversed it on him, so it's Reggie that hits the mat, and Reggie can think of nothing else after being embarrassed, so he goes to the referee and says, hey, he must have pulled my tights. I don't believe he could have done that otherwise.
Gee, that's the first time I've ever seen Reggie do that.
Reggie B, my goodness.
Tying it up. Raper taking the arm around into a hammer, trying to get a good grip on him, because that's a big arm. I got to tell you, we sometimes want to make fun of Reggie because he's always doing something out of the ordinary, and yet you got to admit, this guy physically, he's got it. He had that arm of Raper's. Look at him go. Raper forcing him to get right down to it and wrestle on that mat. Raper going in for a single leg. Reggie standing up. I was expecting to see him pull back that fist, but instead he rakes him in the eyes, holds him, and passes it off to Don Bass.
He had a handful of hair, so does Don Bass as he slams Ken Raper into the turnbuckle. It's the turnbuckle where Tony Williams is, though. Tony takes a tag but does not fare well as Don Bass got him in the throat.
Sweet Georgia Brown, just in passing, grabs the leg, hits him, and what a buff kick from Tony. Got Big Reggie, who reverses the whip. Shoulder puts him back down, and Williams tripped up by Sweet Georgia Brown. Referee over with Don Bass, turns around 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
Well, you got to give Georgia Brown an assist out here, and she was a presence to be reckoned with in the corner all the way, and certainly there at the end. Tony Williams got his feet taken out from under him, and they were able to hold him down for a 3 count. So it's going to be a victory for Don Bass, Reggie B. Fine, and Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yeah, perfect example, Dave, of how one little thing like that, you saw how quick it ended up. They took advantage of it. I'll grant them that. She dumped him down, and Reggie B. got right on top and cradled up for the 1, 2, 3. If we can get that out from under, we're going to go out here and hear from another voice that was mentioned one way or the other, talking about a lady who has made her presence known. And if you don't believe it, ask Scott Bowden. He'll tell you how tough she is. Well, he probably won't, but he should tell you how tough she is. Talking about Miss Texas, who Sweet Georgia Brown was out here. I had the big feeling, Dave, that she was looking at that video in there. She was feeling jealousy, just blooming out all. That's what all that mouth running about sounded like to me when she was out here.
You're right. Kind of won her own video.
Yeah. She wishes, I can guarantee you that. Later today, it's going to be the championship match with Brian Christopher and Doug Gilbert scheduled in here. And here she comes right now, Miss Texas. I want to get her comments if she had a chance to see Sweet Georgia Brown. I believe her dander is up a little bit there, Miss Texas. She was out here really bad-mouthing you.
You know, Lance, every time you look around, somebody downing Miss Texas or running down USWA. Sweet Georgia Brown, you couldn't beat me on my worst day. You talk about me not having a man. Well, you must be pretty desperate to have a man, to have Reggie be fine for one.
I hear that. She got one, but you question the caliber of the man that she's got, huh?
See, Sweet Georgia Brown, you want to fight, then you got to fight.
All right, hey, now. Whoa.
We don't talk about desperate. You're the one desperate. Don't have a man, don't have a life. You're a low life that should have been our message a long time ago. I don't even know what you
All right, now, come on. Whoa, going at it. Sweet Georgia Brown, Miss Texas down here. Come on, on, ladies. Save it for the ring. Here comes Don Bass, Reggie. I know they're going to be impartial. Just get it separated. All right. Sweet Georgia Brown with him. Come on, Don. Quit that kind of stuff. Little help on the way. As Bill Dundee and PG-13 comes out here. Well, they found out one way to get to Miss Texas.
Sweet Georgia Brown, you want to fight? You got to fight. You better get ready for old-fashioned butt kicking.
I'll tell you what, that little lady backs up a lot of what she says, so I can tell you, Georgia Brown, you better ready to get in there and do it the hard way, because she is flat coming after you after that kind. Had two of them, one on each arm holding her, so she slapped her around. Man, I can tell you what. Whoa. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. We'll take a break and we'll be back in just a moment.
This portion of USWA channel.
Well, we've got the superstar, Bill Dundee, coming up in action here in just a moment. And don't forget, we've got that heavyweight title match. It will be right here on USWA Wrestling in just a little bit. Coming out right now, he's had some personal acquaintance with Miss Texas. Thank you.
You know, Lance Russell, my temper is just like Bill Dundee's body. It's very, very short. And for the last few weeks, Bill Dundee has embarrassed me. And I'm from Germantown, baby. You don't embarrass somebody like myself. And I was going to bring in somebody last week, a mystery partner, to take care of Dundee. And I was going to fly him in on my Learjet, but I made the mistake of trusting the airlines. And due to an airline screw-up, he was unable to make it. And a lesser man probably would have backed out of the match. But that's not my style, baby. I went in there, and I gave Dundee everything I had, but I just came up a little bit short. But I promise you, this week, he will be here. Dundee comes out going, Scott Bowden, you don't have any friends. Well, baby, I got the best friends money can buy, and I got the biggest and the baddest coming in. It's just like in college football. My Uncle Bobby, he gets the biggest lineman he can find to catch those cute little quarterbacks that are running around. You know what I'm saying, Lance Russell?
I hear you.
And when he finally catches you this week, Dundee, he's going to squat you like the cockroach that you are, baby. I can promise you that. You're going to wind up in some seedy lounge downtown doing Elvis impersonations after he gets through with you, baby. I promise you, the biggest and the baddest is coming for you this week, Dundee.
Well, you've had enough unusual matches yourself. You ought to be an expert on a lot of different things. Dog food matches, diaper matches, and so forth. Let's go to the ring right now for our next match, and Kory.
All right, Lancer, we're ready for it. One fall, 10-minute time limit. First introducing 245 pounds, wrestling from Jackson, Tennessee. Here is Jesse Hickerson. His opponent today, 205 pounds. From the land down under Australia, the superstar, Bill Dundee. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Kevin Christian, your referee for this.
Well, the superstar arrives, greets the crowd on his way to the ring, steps up in there, and referee Kevin Christian is waiting for the warm-up jacket to come off. He will give us a signal. We will be underway with this match. Keep in mind, coming up later on today, you'll see Sid Vicious. You'll also see a USWA title match, Brian Christopher against Doug Gilbert. But meanwhile, look at the superstar in action.
He's going to have a surprising awakening here is Jesse Hickerson, because he looks across the ring and he sees not the tallest wrestler he's ever faced, and he figures, oh, easy day today. Wrong.
Bad wrong.
Pound for pound, one of the meanest, toughest guys you'll see around, the superstar, Bill Dundee. Hooks that arm into a hammer, rolls it up behind, and he's already stretching.
He's got him in trouble, no doubt about it. The referee is right there checking with him to see if Jesse wanted to give it up on a submission. And he did not. Bill Dundee with a cover, count of 2, almost a 3, but Jesse kicks out of it at the last second.
Jesse caught in that front chancery right there as Dundee really pulling up on it. Now there is a classic textbook of the way it should be applied. He's across that jawbone, and he is really ripping the face up, and he did just that. Turned him over and pounded down on Jesse Hickerson. Yeah, Jesse will be a better man for this. He may not believe it, but he'd be a better man for it, Davey. Spinning leg lock.
He will indeed. When you're going against a tough veteran, yeah, you can learn a lot from the veteran, but sometimes it's not the most pleasant learning experience you've ever had. That certainly looks to be the case from Jesse Hickerson here today. Bill Dundee wrapping on that toe hold, twisting it around. That puts the pressure on the knee. You see Jesse grabbing a knee. Ooh, kind of what I used to call a jackknife. He just pops it, and that leg flops back over. It hurts.
You know, every time I see that outside toe hold like that, I make the same comment. I think that is the most painful thing in the world when that toe goes out and it's all right on that knee. Good elbow on the first really offensive effort of any magnitude that Jesse Hickerson has been able to mount, and right away he went in too quick and he ran into that foot of Dundee, and Dundee with an elbow puts him down on the mat, picks him up, slams him down. Billy heading over to the ladder, makes the climb up the rope from the top, drops down right across Jesse, count of 1, 2, 3, and give Dundee the win. Billy with a good victory over Jesse Hickerson, showing him what he's made of.
Oh, you're right. Good match there. Don't forget the title match coming up in just a few minutes. Brian Christopher against Doug Gilbert. There's lots more to come, too.
We got it, and we'll be to it.
Johnny Bench for S&K's Winter.
We got lots of things going on here today, and one thing that's going to be going on this week is the superstar, Bill Dundee, has a couple of tough matches coming up. Maybe we can talk to him a little bit about that. Just fresh from a victory here today over Jesse Hickerson just moments ago. Here he comes. Oh, my goodness. He is set and ready to go right here. Billy, we were just talking about your victory here today. Congratulations on that. And looking ahead toward what's coming up this week, looks pretty tough.
Yeah, Monday night to be exact. Scott Bowden, I told you last. In fact, since I've known you, brother, I really don't like managers in the wrestling business. Because you know what you are. You're a leech, brother. You're a leech. That's all you can do. You can go watch television, or you can watch somebody wrestle, and then you say, hey, I know I can do that. No, you can't do that, brother. You got to put 20 years in that ring to get the... Well, you think I just woke up one morning and said I was a superstar? All them nice folks out there give me that name, brother, and I'm awful proud of it. And I fought them all that come through here. And there's been leeches like you before. You hung on to Doug Gilbert. You hung on to Tommy Rich because you're not big enough or bad enough to do nothing for yourself, bud. And you run around and you say you got some uncle that's a football coach. I don't believe that. And I don't believe Monday night that you got some monster going to show up and beat me up. Oh, you may have a monster coming, all right. But I'm sure as hell not going to beat up Bill Dundee, because they've all tried it, brother, and I'm still standing here. I don't like you, Bowden. I had a little fun with you last week. I should have punched your lights out or broke your leg and got you out of this wrestling business, because it's guys like you that give this business a bad name. You don't know nothing about wrestling. You've never paid no dues. You haven't drove up and down the road. You ain't been beat up or run out of town. Well, all them things has happened to me, Bowden, and I'm still standing here. And like I said, brother, 5'7", 205 pounds, but I'm the baddest 5'7" you're ever going to see. So you bring whoever you want Monday night. You just bring him, brother, and I'm going to pound him from pillar to post, and then I'm going to beat the living hell out of you, and I hope you quit, and that's all I got to say to you, punk.
I think it may very well be enough said. Pound for pound, one of the toughest guys you will find anywhere, no doubt about it. He is, in fact, involved in that match Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. It all begins at 7:30 at the Coliseum Monday night. 8 big matches in all. $2 off all seats for kids 12 and under as the special pricing continues here in 1995. Opening match of the night, gorgeous Jimmy Harris will be going against Tony Williams, but that's just the beginning.
And we're going to have on Monday night a one-night round robin to come up with a challenger for the USWA tag team titles. Everybody going around saying, we ought to have the shot, we ought to have the shot. Hey, settle it right there and take a listen to the way it's going to go. The Moondogs will open up against the War Machines. That will be the opening match. Then there's going to be the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson coming back to face Don Bass and Reggie B. Fine. And then the winner of the first match will face the winner of the second match. And it's going to be decided who the challenger is going to be right there Monday night.
You know, Memphis, Tennessee has always been considered the hotbed of tag team wrestling back for years and years and years. And it certainly will be Monday night as the round-robin tournament goes. Man, get ready for this next one. It's going to be Miss Texas going against Sweet Georgia Brown, 1 against 1. Put them in the ring, and look out.
And following that, Bill Dundee talking about his match coming up with whoever Scott Bowden is going to bring in. And we're hoping that he's more successful this week than he was last week, and that he does have somebody, because I believe Dundee is about had it up to his ears with Scott Bowden and all of his so-called friends, and he's going to be ready. It'll be Dundee against Scott Bowden's bounty hunting wrestler that he brings in.
And then the Grudge USWA Tag Title match. PG-13, they'll be here. They'll be going against Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. USWA Tag Titles will be on the line.
And final match of the evening is going to be a return of the Unified World Title Challenge by Brian Christopher against Sid Vicious, except one of the differences, there will be no referee in the ring. And you might say, well, that's a strange stipulation for Brian in there challenging Vicious. I think you'll understand it better when you get a better look at exactly what happened and how the referee was involved in the disqualification that kept the title around the waist of Sid Vicious. It should be a marvelous night Monday night, and one we hope maybe that you will be able to and decide to come on out and join us. 7:30 is the time, David.
Absolutely. Bring the family, because you've got the $2 off, 12 and under, all sections, 7:30 Monday night at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. And you were talking about Sid Vicious against Brian Christopher, the previous match and what happened in that. I think maybe we got some highlights of that action.
Yes, sir, and that's something very important for everybody to see, because a lot of people might have said, well, you know, is Brian Christopher really big enough to take on Sid Vicious? Take a look at this action and keep an eye on Sid and the referee. Combination of speed, a well-conditioned athlete, but even as much as anything else, a very self-assured, determined young man who right at the moment is bouncing off that human wall. Sid Vicious misses a clothesline, but catches Christopher right up in the air. Isn't it astounding the strength that guy had? Whoa, he met him with a right hand here. Down underneath and through him. Now that's what Brian Christopher is going to have to do. Swings that side kick, catches him one in the midsection, grabs the hair and hammered him down on the mat. Look at Sid. Over the top, right at Vicious, who reached up, caught him in midair. Holy mackerel, he dropped him from holding him all the way in the air. And he would like nothing better than to beat a fan favorite right in the ring a whole lot more than keep his title by a disqualification or a count out. Brian ripping back with that right hand, coming after him. There's that determination.
Whoa, but it's not early, my friend. Big boot from Big Sid Vicious. It lands Brian Christopher right to the neck.
Vicious is so powerful through the upper body. Look at that! Picked him up! Slammed him down on the mat! And as he went to drop with the legs, Vicious doubled his up, caught him underneath. Christopher out. Catches Vicious coming in. Christopher used his speed. I was worried that a Charlie was going to develop in that leg. And if he loses his speed, this match is over with. It may still be going on, but it's a matter of time before Vicious throttles him. Here comes Christopher. Slides out of the ring. Whips him with a right hand. Choke slam on Kevin Christopher. Brian Christopher pulls the chain out. With a referee down, he could use it. Gloves in. Here comes Doug Gilbert. Christopher nails him. Referee is still down.
Referee signal for the bell in there, Lance, but he is completely out of it. And now Gilbert has reached home. Double team Christopher.
Brian Christopher caught with Doug Gilbert, foot to the midsection. Vicious was holding it. Gilbert rips the chain away from Christopher. Here comes the King. He low bridges Sid from behind. Nails Doug Gilbert. Look at Lawler go. Tommy Rich coming in. He grabs Lawler. Dishes a right on him. Sid with a big elbow. From behind, Christopher nailed by Rich. You've got 5 of them in there, Lawler and Christopher. Boy, I'll tell you what, that son of a gun could have gone a whole nother way. But for the attack on the referee when he chokeslammed referee Kevin Christian, talking about Sid Vicious, ended up getting a disqualification. Oh, it goes down on the record as a loss, but that belt is still around the waist of Sid Vicious. Coming out right now, an exciting young man who really showed everybody what he was made of, talking about Brian Christopher. Took everything he had to offer and right back at him. Brian, heck of a match. It's too bad it ended up the way it did.
Well, Lance, you made me feel like I did win the world title, but...
You were close.
You know, Lance, I felt something Monday night, this past Monday night. You know, I've walked down that aisle from the back of the Coliseum to the ring 100 different times. And when I climbed into the ring Monday night, and I listened to you announce me as a challenger for the World Heavyweight title, right then I thought back to one match. It came in my mind just like it was yesterday. It was a match against Jerry Lawler and Curt Hennig for the World Unified Heavyweight title.
Right.
And that was the night right there. I was in the Coliseum that night, and I witnessed that match. And that was the night when Jerry Lawler fulfilled his dream, and he became the World Unified Heavyweight Champion. And I remember after that match, he was so happy, he was so elated. Everybody from the back came out there because they knew that this is what he wanted more than anything in his life. They all came out there and they put him up on their shoulders and they carried him around that Coliseum as everybody in the building was going crazy. And Lance, right then I knew that it was my opportunity to fulfill my dream. This has been my dream, like I told you last week. It's been my dream before I even got into wrestling. And during that match, you know, Sid Vicious, there were times when he was able to throw me around like a rag doll, they say, you know.
Yeah.
He was able to do that. And he was able to kick on me and punch on me and give me everything that he had. But I listened to all the people. I listened to them say, don't quit, Brian. Don't quit, Brian. And I was able to keep fighting. I was able to keep fighting that big man. I know that he's strong. I know that he's big. And I know that he rules the world, Lance. But I saw it in his eyes. I saw it in his eyes. I knew that he knew that I could beat him. All the people knew that I had a chance, Sid Vicious. I had a chance to get your belt, and I felt it myself. I felt that it was my night to become the World Unified Heavyweight Champion up until he attacked the referee. You knew it, Sid Vicious. You knew that I had you beat. That's why he did that act like a desperate man, grabbing the referee and throwing him down. Well, Sid Vicious, you knew that would get you disqualified. You knew the spellbinder was out of the building. And that was the only way that you could save that belt of yours. Well, Sid Vicious, it's a different story this week. No referee is going to be in the ring. I asked for this match. No referee inside the ring. The only time the referee will come in is when a man's shoulders are down. He'll come in to make that 1, 2, 3. Like I just heard some of here say, I'm going to get whooped. Well, believe me, all you sitting out here, you might not have any faith in me. You might not think that I got a chance. But I'll tell you what, there's a man standing right here that's got faith in himself. And I know that there's a man back there named Sid Vicious that knows that he can be beat. I know your strong point, Sid Vicious. I know your weak point, Sid Vicious. And you know that I'll stoop to any level. I'll do whatever it takes, Sid Vicious, to get your belt, because that's what I want. So you get ready. Monday night, no referee in the ring. The Spellbinder will not be in the building Monday night. So that just means 2 men in the ring, Sid. Just me and you. And like I said, I know what it takes, Sid Vicious. You're looking at the man that's going to beat you. It's not all talk. I'm going to back it up Monday night. You know, dreams that are not hard to achieve are dreams that are not worth having. And just like Jerry Lawler fulfilled his dream, this Monday night, Sid Vicious, this Monday night, Brian Christopher will fulfill his dream and walk out of the Coliseum the world unified heavyweight champion, boy.
Determined young man, we saw all of the challengers come in for Sid in the unified title. That young man showed me more than anybody I've seen. We're going to be back with more action right here on USWA Wrestling in just a moment.
It happened. Absolutely. The USWA heavyweight title on the line right here today. Very, very important belt for lots and lots of reasons. And a man who has held that belt right here, and Doug Gilbert headed this way, along with Scott Bowden. He'll be trying to take it away from Brian Christopher.
Why don't you get up here and ask me who Brian Christopher's overlooking? Who Brian Christopher's overlooking, Lance Russell, is no other than Dangerous Doug Gilbert. You can put all your sights on big Sid Vicious. But what's going to happen right now is I'm just get in the ring, and I'm going to take my USWA.
That is why we came, as a matter of fact, young Doug Gilbert. We'll see. Let's go to Kory in the introduction.
Okay, Lance, we're ready for special television time. 1 fall, 30-minute time limit, USWA heavyweight title bout. First introducing the challenger, 238 pounds, wrestling from Lexington, Tennessee, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, with Scott Bowden. His opponent, the USWA heavyweight champion, at a weight of 222 pounds, from Memphis, Tennessee, here is Too Sexy, Brian Christopher. This is a sanctioned USWA heavyweight title bout. Special television time, 1 fall, 30-minute time limit, and Kevin Christian is the official referee. We're ready to go, Lance, today.
All right, title match about to get underway here. The USWA heavyweight title belt being handed to the referee by Brian Christopher. And the belt is on the line. Yeah, we know that, Doug. We've been talking about it being a title match all day long. Doug Gilbert. Oh, well, the crowd is expressing their feelings about Doug, and they are not what Doug would like to hear. They're not totally Doug fans, I don't believe.
And I think they do it even more because they know it gets under Doug's skin, and he may not think so, but that's not the best way in the world to start a match when your mind's distracted and you're upset, and Brian Christopher may make it pay off in a hurry.
Absolutely. Well, he's got a couple of scores to settle with Doug Gilbert anyway. Doug Gilbert has held his title. He wants it back. Brian Christopher has said in the past he almost considers it his title. It's a huge, important title that he won the first time, and he's been able to keep it a long time. Look at him go.
Big whip, and Texas. Gilbert coming out of the turnbuckles and rattled him one to put him right down on the mat. Scott Bowden over to his main man, seeing him seated on the floor where he rolled out of that ring and stayed where he hit, Dave.
I'll take this and leave.
Oh, yeah, put the belt back over here.
Come on, Doug.
I'm going to do it the legal way, and I'm fixing to beat him right in the middle.
You got a 10 count to get back in there. You're going to lose it the legal way. You're going to be counted out. He's back in there. Doug saying he's going to win it legal. He claimed he was hit by a chain. He was not.
No.
There was no chain involved. Now, Bryant's used a chain or two in the past, but then he did not.
They have had some real street fights between Christopher and Gilbert. We've seen them in the past. It's that old thing about oil and water. These guys, whoa, went to the slide between the legs, came up and wrapped him with a right hand, made no bones about it. And Gilbert, talking with Scott Bowden, Brian Christopher being an opportunist in the ring, and that's one of the reasons he's been so successful, when sliding across and put a foot up beside each one of their heads, dumped them right where they were.
Meeting adjourned. Brian Christopher waiting in the ring. Now look out, Doug Gilbert's trying to sneak around behind. Big week coming up for Brian here. Not only is he having to defend this title today, he's looking toward the unified world title coming up later on. That's got to be tough. I know for champions, every match is a tough match coming up, but I don't know. Brian has got two huge matches just days apart here.
Handed him something, I don't know what. Brian Christopher talking about Scott Bowden handing Gilbert something.
Brian Christopher hasn't even lost the match yet. He's already crying and making excuses. That's so Brian for you.
He's just trying to keep an eye on you. That's what he's doing, because we thought we saw Bowden slip something to Doug Gilbert. Gilbert just hollered something to Bowden. Get the referee. Sunset flip. Turned it over on Gilbert. Christopher holding it. But the referee is over being distracted by Bowden. It did him no good. And now, Dave, he just went to the tights to Doug Gilbert.
He absolutely did. I think he hit Brian with whatever it was that Scott Bowden handed him in the ring, and he's gone to the tights again a time or two. Well, the referee's not going to find anything, so he's got it in his mouth. It's likely a chain. Whatever it is, it's in his right fist right now.
Brian Christopher well aware of it, trying to point to the referee. Kevin Christian can't keep his eyes on the two combatants in there because Scott Bowden is distracting him all through this. Of course, that's part of Bowden's duties, I guess. Gilbert, a right to the midsection, a whip across the ring. Now he goes to the tights and rips Christopher with that loaded hand. I think it's more like not a roll of dime, but a steel bar or something like that.
I think that's almost what it has to be. It is not a chain. I think we would have been able to see that. Whatever it is, it's been doing damage, as did that. Whoa.
Reverse atomic knee drop by Gilbert. Drops down on the back of the neck of Christopher with that forearm. Puts him down with a clothesline. And Brian Christopher, I hope he hasn't got his mind too far ahead to Sid Vicious, or he's going to lose it to a guy who is perfectly capable of winning it. He's done it before. Talking about Doug Gilbert, the whip. He goes down for the back drop and catches that spinning side kick from Brian Christopher. And once again, look at Bowden up on the ring edge.
As Doug Gilbert gets in trouble, Scott Bowden distracts the referee. Here's Sid Vicious out. He's in the ring. Referee still hasn't seen him. That throttle slam. He popped Brian down to the mat and leaves. The referee didn't see it happening. Bowden had him distracted all the way across the ring. Doug Gilbert already celebrating. He claimed, hey, my belt. He does pin the shoulders, counts at 1, 2, no reversal. 1, 2, 3. He got him. The belt stays with Brian Christopher.
You know that old one, don't count the chickens before they cross the road or something like that. Well, that's what Doug Gilbert did. He already had that belt snapped around his waist. Unfortunately, he was about 1 count too early, Dave.
Yeah, Doug Gilbert wasted a good 8 or 10 count out here celebrating before he even went for the pin, and it cost him big time. He has no belt. The belt remains with Brian Christopher.
Back with more wrestling action in just a moment.
Looking for a fun family getaway?
Early today, those of you that are tuning in early for USWA Wrestling, we're back on our regular time next week, 10 a.m. right here on TV5. Let's take a look at USWA Wrestling on tour beginning Crenshaw, Mississippi, Friday night, Friday, January 13th. Friday the 13th, Crenshaw. Look at the people in Crenshaw, Mississippi. Always a great crowd right there in Crenshaw, and it's going to be a great night of wrestling action. Brian Christopher, too sexy, Brian Christopher on the card. Jerry the King Lawler will be right there in Crenshaw. You'll see the King, superstar Bill Dundee there. Big Sid Vicious, the unified world champion right there in Crenshaw. The Moondogs, all in Crenshaw, Mississippi. Crenshaw Gym, coming up Friday night, January 13th, 8 p.m. the bell time for wrestling action in Crenshaw. Same night, wrestling in Kennett, Missouri. Going to be Friday, January 13th, the very same night in Kennett. 7:30 bell time there at the American Legion building. PG-13 going to be in Kennett, Missouri. Miss Texas, Tommy Rich, Doug Gilbert, Scott Bowden, King Cobra on the card, Don Bass, and look at that, the Birdman, Coco Ware will be right there in Kennett, Missouri, American Legion building. Friday, January 20th, Forest City, Arkansas. Civic Center there, 7:30 bell time for wrestling in Forest City, Arkansas. Jerry Lawler, Brian Christopher, Sid Vicious, the Spellbinder, PG-13, Bill Dundee, Rich and Gilbert, all in Forest City, Arkansas, Friday, January the 20th. USW Wrestling goes to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Saturday night, January 28th, Jonesboro, 7:30, Earl Bell Community Center on Church Street. Sid Vicious, Brian Christopher on the card. Bill Dundee, all will be right there in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And coming soon, USWA Wrestling in Clarksdale, Mississippi, Corinth, Mississippi as well. And also understand there's a new date. It's going to be set for Cleveland, Mississippi. That is USWA Championship Wrestling on tour. Nothing like being there, seeing it live, my friend. Well, picture's worth 1,000 words. There he is, Sid Vicious, Unified World Heavyweight Champion. And maybe if we can stop and get his attention here for a moment, we can talk about the big bout coming up Monday night, Mid-South Coliseum. All kids 12 and under save $2 on tickets to see this unified world title bout. Too sexy Brian Christopher challenging Sid Vicious down there.
Man, you really say that well, Kory. Now, hey, well, I still after. Now, for you people at home, I am going to tell you a little story where that you can understand what's really going on here. So it hit me this morning, Kory, something like you don't do. At 6 o'clock this morning, I'm sitting at the gym and I'm working out, man. And then I look around me. I look around me at people around. I look at people. I look at these two guys. They're like me a little bit. They're really busting their gut. They're trying to make some gains. And there's a guy standing there by the name of Doug. And he's standing like in stagnant water. But out of his mouth pours things like he says, hey, man, I'm pushing myself. Hey, man, I'm really doing something. But in reality, the people standing around, and even himself, he knew that he's nothing. Brian, that is just like yourself. See, you're going to come out here in front of these people. You're going to tell them that you brought me everything I have, and you have everything you have to me. And out of desperation, I hit the referee. For a second, let's remember the clip we saw. What I saw was you brought everything to me, and it didn't faze me. You dug down, you grabbed the chain, and it didn't faze me. See, the closest thing to fame that you'll ever come to is that you step in the ring with me, Christopher. You step in the ring, but you step in the ring already a loser. See, I'm going to tell you something, Christopher, and I am just big enough to say this, and I'm just big enough to back it up. Christopher, if you beat me, I will throw my wrestling boots away, and I will never wrestle again. That simple. Now, let me tell you something, you little goof. Think of it like this. If you're going to dine with the devil, you better bring a big spoon. Because when you get lifted up and you're dropped on your head and you have no memory when you wake up, oh yeah, no memory, but there'll be someone there to tell you, yeah, Brian Christopher, Sid Vicious is the man that rules the world.
Well, you'll be seeing him around the USWA. He'll be there in Crenshaw coming up Friday night. And Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, Unified World Title bout, Vicious and Christopher. Down there Monday night, you definitely want to be right there to see that bout. Coming up, PG-13 in the ring when we return with USWA Wrestling.
Dennis Holcomb.
Welcome to CNW.
Okay, tag team action on the USWA here. First introducing a combined weight of 558 pounds, wrestling out of Jackson, Tennessee. Here are Bobby and Lee, the Hickersons. Their opponents today, 397 pounds at a combined weight, wrestling from the hood. J.C. Ice, Sir Whoopi D. Put your hands together for PG-13. Kevin Christian, your referee. We're ready with this one, fellas.
Here comes the paper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area.
The boys from the hood. I'm looking at their headgear. You talking about diverse. J.C. Ice has got on that chimney sweep hat. And Whoopi D had on that knit cap now as they go through a little ceremony to begin with.
Looks like Bobby Ray Hickerson's going to be starting for their team. And JC for PG-13. This one ought to be a good one. These Hickersons are large.
I don't know a lot about them, but I can tell you one thing. They've got a wrestling name, Hickerson, because, of course, it brings to mind one of the toughest that we've seen around, and that's Big Phil. Whoa, Bobby Ray caught by a much smaller man, but he used his weight against him. And here comes Lee. Look at that beautiful move, Dave. See him scissor that leg as he came through the rope.
Big Lee headed for the ropes, and boom! Whoa, PG-13 both there. He didn't go down, so they picked him up and dropped him on the mat. Great teamwork by these guys.
They figured they needed one man on each leg to get that job done.
And they got it done, no doubt about it. Oh, look at this reversal. Big Lee picks up. Whoopi D swings, misses. Whoopi D comes right back at it.
And ripping another right hand. Whoopi D went back into the ropes, and Bobby Ray just put that knee right in the middle of his back. and Wolfie is in trouble.
Wolfie D finding himself in a bit of trouble here. Back into the ropes. Crowd behind him. Off the ropes. Bobby Ray puts him down on the mat.
They do tag in and out well, the Hickersons. Whipped him in. Turns him over with that slam, and J.C., Johnny on the spot. Legal or not, he broke the count as he picked up the big guy's leg and got him off of Wolfie D. They make the exchange, and Bobby Ray Hickerson right back in behind, putting the pressure up on that point just to the right. That's, you know, I always get that feeling when I see somebody grab, because I know how it is when somebody comes up and grabs you right in that spot. Your knees go weak.
That's true. He did the smart thing. Wolfie got over to the corner, got the tag. J.C. Ice in there. Wolfie's still in the ring. We've got all four of them in there. The Hickerson's doubling up. Wolfie D trying for the sunset. And he's got Bobby Hickerson on the mat. Count it 2. Only a 2 count.
Looked
Verified.
like he had him, but he missed that third count as the left shoulder came up first. Whipping the Hickersons into each other. Great drop kick immediately followed by J.C. Wolfie brings Bobby Ray up. And coming right off on top of him. J.C. Ice 1, 2, 3. He got him that time. PG-13.
They got the victory over a tough team here in the Hickersons. Lee and Bobby Ray. There's J.C. Ice. PG-13 can celebrate just a little bit, and I was hoping maybe we could get a chance to talk to them just a minute. They've headed back to the dressing room area. Let's see. Oh, well, my God, coming from a different direction.
Oh, yeah, here comes a real thrill. Scott Bowden.
Scott Bowden with Doug Gilbert and Wildfire Tommy Rich.
You know, PG-13, you're the kind of punks that my mother used to warn me about. The kids from the wrong side of the tracks, you understand what I'm saying? Because every once in a while, they cross those tracks into our nice neighborhood and tried to work out some of their frustrations on the rich kids. Well, I promise you two punks something. If you try to cross the tracks and come after this rich kid, you got to go through Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich first. You understand what I'm saying, baby? Dundee has never given Jamie Dundee anything. He's had to steal for everything he's ever gotten. He probably stole the hubcap off the doctor that delivered him. Well, let me tell you, two pieces of white trash, something. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert are going to turn you into men this week, baby. I promise you that.
Well, PG-13 will have...
I don't know if you could do anything and turn them two idiots into men. We'll see what happens when everybody's against you and you're getting cheated from, you're getting robbed from, and they steal whatever it may be. What happened last week? They stole the USWA belt from Tommy Rich. What happened this week was I got cheated out of my chest. Tommy, come here. Tell them what is in store for what they've done to us.
Well, you know, boys, welcome to a man's world, and that's what it's all about. But, you know, I want to give you a little background on PG-13. What it amounts to, you're looking at two boys that don't even have no business. They come out here, crack them stupid jokes, and people over here laugh at them because they're about as illiterate as J.C. Ice and Wolfie D. Now, Jamie Dundee, the reason you got into professional wrestling, we all know. Bill Superstar Dundee come from overseas, from Australia to here, and he made a name for himself. Bill Dundee was a man. He's a legend here in this area. But you're not, Jamie Dundee. You're not half the man your old man is. And if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be here. Then you got Wolfie D, who rides around with Randy Hales and Eddie Marlin. He washes their car. You know, he's got his nose stuck, no telling where. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Whether I disagree with it is...
And then I'm done. You know, they talk about the hubcaps. Well, I found out what that's about. You know, Wolfie D, his mama's an old hag, you know. And his daddy The only way that Wolfie D can find his daddy is when he goes down to the street corner and he don't know which one his daddy's going to be standing there with his corn jar and begging for money.
Well, Jerry Brown, hold on a second. Let me tell you a little story. See, yeah, there's this little kid. He's called J.C. Ice, right? Well, everybody knows, little boy, who your daddy is and what your name is. Your name's Jamie Dundee, and you was raised right, Jamie Dundee. And see, your daddy had a whole lot of money. And he gives you, but you know what happened, Dave Brown? You know what happened to Jamie Dundee?
What?
He beat his poor old dad. See, Bill Dundee was a big legend around here for years and years. He beat Bill Dundee about senseless. And then, you know, you remember his poor old mom, Beverly Dundee, don't you, Dave Brown? You remember Beverly, the bald only woman?
I'm about getting sick and tired of all this story insulting people here. You got
to insult anybody no longer. See his old mama, Beverly Dundee, after he beat up his daddy was embarrassed, and he kicked her out. Well, Jamie Dundee, for what you've done, see your mama, your old bald-headed, ugly mama, your stupid daddy, and everybody else in the hood, you think you're real.
Look out, David. PG-13 had all they could stand. And here they are, out here jumping on Gilbert and Rich, who had been out totally out of order, running their mouth in a direction they shouldn't have been. And now we're trying to get this brawl broken up. Randy Hale's out.
Randy's calling for more help if there's anybody watching a monitor.
Tony Williams out. And PG-13 absolutely furious. Tony Williams holding back Wolfie D. J.C. Ice, and here's Gilbert. And Rich saw a chance to get 2-on-1, and it ends up in another brawl right over by the fans. Partially separated. Rich is back out of it. Gilbert's back. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to it in just a moment.
We've got the call.
Boy, certainly not today.
Woo.
Not Monday night either, I bet, down at the Mid-South Coliseum. 7:30.
10 seconds. You know, I was driving. I was all the way almost home. And it hit me. This Friday night, I'm going to be in Crenshaw, Mississippi. Now, see, Mayor Barlow, if something goes wrong and the call's not right, well, Oscar, there's going to be a new mayor, and it's going to be myself. If everything isn't the way it's supposed to be, Lance.
I'll tell you what, Oscar, when the man says it, pay attention to him.
Wow.
I don't want him after me.
No, sir. He's going to be in action Monday night, too, at the Mid-South Coliseum. $2 off all seats for kids 12 and under. 8 big matches in all. Gorgeous Jimmy Harris will be going against Tony Williams in what should be a good opener.
We've got a round-robin tag tournament that's going to be coming up to decide a challenger for PG-13 or whoever has got the title. Moondogs against the War Machine. Rock and Roll Express. Ricky and Robert coming back here. Really looking forward to seeing them in action against Don Bass and Reggie B. Fine. And then the winners of the first and second matches will determine who the challenger will be.
Then you got Miss Texas against Sweet Georgia Brown. These two going at it a little bit here today. Put them in the ring officially 1-against-1 Monday night.
Bill Dundee will be going against Scott Bowden's bounty hunter in a special challenge match.
In a grudge USWA tag title match, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert will be going against PG-13. They were out here insulting. PG took enough of it. They will be going at each other with the titles at stake Monday.
Unified heavyweight title on the line when a man of destiny, young Brian Christopher, will be challenging Big Sid Vicious, and the big thing, no referee inside the ring. All of that Monday night, 8 big matches. You'll want to be there to say you saw it. Son of a gun, it should be at 7:30 is the start time. Make certain you're down there and get your tickets in advance so you'll have what you want. We're going to be back in just a moment.
If you were
really say I blame the guys. PG-13, Wolfie D, and JC took all they could stand, and they had to get out here and get a piece of Rich and Gilbert.
You're right when you say that's all I could stand. You know, it's a crying shame when somebody comes out here and they have to resort to telling truths, Tommy Rich, talking about my mother, talking about where I came from. You want to give a history lesson? I'll give you a history lesson. Kelly Wolf, Wolfie D, he's all the same person. When you talk about Kelly Wolf's mother, you're talking about Wolfie D's mother. When you talk about that I came from the streets of Nashville, Tennessee, you're telling the truth, Tommy Rich, because anything I've ever had, I had to fight for it. You are very right. And if I couldn't buy it, I stole it, Tommy Rich. But that's who I am. When these cameras go off, I'm going to keep talking like this. When the cameras go off, I'm going to stay dressed like this. I'm going to do everything, and what you see right here is the same person that you're talking about, Tommy Rich. You want to get personal? You want to make me real mad, huh? I can come to the Coliseum, I can come to Louisville, I can come to Nashville, and I can beat your brains out, Tommy Rich. And Doug Gilbert, you've got me madder than I've ever been. Jamie, you need to tell him something.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you, Wolfie, with that kind of a lead into it because of what Gilbert and Rich had to say, and the same with you, Jamie.
Yeah, you see, Tommy Rich, you bleached blonde has-been. Let me tell you something, boy. Jamie Dundee is my name. Bill Dundee is my dad. And you're right, I may have been raised a little rich kid, but I didn't have a lot of money because Bill said, Jamie, if you want money, you got to get out and earn it because nobody gives you nothing in this world. So what I did is I went out and earned it, and like Wolfie said, if I didn't earn it, I took it. But Doug Gilbert, you come out here and talk about my mama, boy. Let me tell you something. My mama is the finest woman to ever be on this earth. And the reason that is because she gave birth to me, Jamie Dundee, Jamie Care Dundee, which means J.C. Ice. So what I'm telling you is for all the gold in the world, you can talk about my family, you can beat my kids, you can kick my dog, but if you ever speak about my mother again, Doug Gilbert, you will be a dead man.
Whoa, PG-13. We've got a standby match here. Let me check the time, or we'll be back with you and let you know in a minute. The time, Dave. I sure wish that we had more time, but we don't. Tell you one thing, I'm sitting here seeing Vicious run his mouth about Brian Christopher. All it does is make him more determined and mad. I see Rich and Gilbert out here saying things they shouldn't say about PG. They've just got two hot guys that are going to be something else.
You're exactly right. And here today, a successful title defense by Brian Christopher. Yes. Now he can focus on Sid Vicious.
That's right. He's got it ahead of him for Kory Macklin, Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying, bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.